Choosing wheels for your electric skateboard is a lot more important than I feel like a lot of people think. Choosing a really nice, reliable set of wheels does a lot for your performance and your overall ride feel. As we've added more and more wheels to our website, we keep getting more and more emails asking, what wheels should we buy? What do the numbers mean? What's the hardness rating? What does all this mean? So we really want to go through and discuss why you choose certain wheels and what each of the numbers means, so you can make a better and more informed decision before you purchase your wheels. If you are a longtime skater or longboarder, then a lot of these tips will feel or sound really familiar to you. But hold tight, we do have some electric skateboard specific tips mixed in here as well. Diameter is super important when it comes to picking out your longboard wheels. Diameter is pretty much just how big your wheel is. These are really big, 120 millimeters. These are just 80, so the difference is insane. So anyways, diameter directly affects the performance of your board. The larger your wheel, the faster your top speed is going to be, but the lower your range is going to be. The smaller your wheel, the slower your top speed, but the better range you're going to get. And then as far as acceleration goes, the larger your wheel, the slower your acceleration, the smaller the wheel, the faster your acceleration. So there's a lot of different things to think about, but this is one of the most important pieces. You want to make sure you get a wheel diameter that matches your type of riding style. Now, if you have a lot of hills or something, you want to go for probably a smaller wheel diameter, because the larger your wheel, the more torque it takes to get them moving. So if you already have a set of really large wheels, a lot of your torque is already going to just getting these moving in general. So now if you're trying to climb hills on top of that, you want to find a wheel that already doesn't require a lot of torque, so you can put a lot more torque to that hill climbing ability. Now, if you have a lot of rough sidewalks and it's pretty much flat, like maybe you're in the city, a big fat wheel like this will be perfect because you don't need a lot of extra torque to get you up hills. So you want to put that into, how comfortable your ride is, being able to tackle that rough terrain. So something like this would be a lot better than an 80 millimeter set of wheels. So hopefully that makes sense. Diameter is just so important. So another metric that a lot of people get hung up on is the durometer rating. So durometer is pretty much just the hardness of the wheel. The different things come with the different hardnesses. So pretty much the way it works is there's an A rating. So for instance, Orangutan puts them all on the wheel themselves. So if you look closely here, you'll see it says 80A right there. It's upside down. So they're all A ratings. The lower that number, the softer, more grippy the wheel is going to be, which will give you a smoother ride. The higher the number, the harder the wheel, the more it slides. It's not as grippy. So again, if you are one that likes to slide a lot, then you'd want to reach for a harder wheel. But it's not as smooth, so you're going to feel a little bit more of that road vibration. So, for example, I have 3 different sets of orangutan wheels here. The reason why I'm using orangutan as an example is because they're really good about each color is just a different hardness level. So it's really easy to just make sure you're buying the right hardness. So a lot of people are really into making sure their wheels are exactly the hardness they want. To me, I don't find this to be super important for my personal preferences. I've ridden with all 3 of these wheels and they're all great. They all feel amazing and I don't really have a crazy preference. So I tend to reach for the color I like the most, which is blue. But in reality, the blue would be the softest wheels and then the purple would be the hardest with orange in the middle. So again, if you're looking to slide a lot more, you'd reach for the purple. If you're looking for a smoother, more grippy ride, you'd reach for the blue. And if you just want an all-around great wheel, you can't go wrong with the orange. So the reason for going through that is just so you guys know that orangutan is really good about keeping the colors separate. So we don't have any official tests, but this would be my guess. My guess would be the harder your wheel, the better your range is going to be. Kind of like air pressure in a tire. If your tires are a lot harder in your vehicle, you're going to have a little bit better gas mileage than if they're not. So my guess, and I don't have any data to back this up, and I would love to actually do this experiment one day. I don't know whether this data would even be noticeable, whether your range would be a noticeable difference, but my guess would be the harder the wheel, the better your efficiency is going to be and the better your range, and then the softer, more grippy the wheel, the more drag there's going to be, and the less your range is going to be. So that's my guess. Now, I would love to do an actual experiment with real data, but that's my guess. So if you want to use that to decide what wheels you want to go for it. But again, I don't have any official data on that, but I would love to do that in the future. So maybe subscribe for that and we'll try to get that set up. So the core shape and style is very important. So in this case, the MBoards wheels, we use an ABEC style clone core. Whereas the orangutan wheels, this one has a pulley on it already, are more of a circular pattern. So the reason why this is so important is you want to make, before you even buy a set of wheels, you want to make sure that there is already wheel pulleys available for your wheels. Now there's all kinds of cheaper wheels out there that have these strange patterns, but there's no pulleys for them. So you can't buy, without heavily modifying your wheel, you can't just buy a simple pulley and just throw it on here like we did here. So before you buy, you want to make sure that either A, come with an ABEC style core, like this one and this, these are the same style. Obviously, the cloud wheels are much bigger. Or you want to make sure they come with the orangutan style core, which has got the circles inside. That way you don't run into issues buying pulleys, because that's the last thing you want to do is have these nice wheels or random wheels and then you can't get them on your board and you can't adapt them to any kind of pulley system. So definitely consider that. One more thing to consider or to look at when you do get cores, and this is really pertaining to the ABEC style, but randomly the ABEC clones, we switch from thin core to thicker. So these are thicker cores. The spokes are thicker. So the only reason why this really matters is if you have those push-in pulleys, that these spokes are too thick for those. So you want to make sure that if you are using a push-in pulley that the spoke thickness is correct. And then one style of wheels that you should definitely just stay away from in general are just wheels that don't have an open type core or spoke pattern at all. If a lot of wheels on the smaller size, they don't have any kind of spoke, so to get a pulley to attach to that would be very difficult. You'd probably have to straight up drill into the rubber itself, which I really would not recommend. So find something with some kind of spoke pattern or core. And then all-terrain wheels are kind of in their own game. They're in their own category, but these are also important. There's also a few things you want to look at with these as well. If you're buying a set of all-terrain tires like this, you want to make sure that there are pulleys that go with these as well, because these hubcaps and spoke patterns can be different as well. So you want to make sure that these screw patterns align with some kind of existing pulley, so you're not pulling your hair out trying to manufacture one yourself or 3D print one, or get one that already has support for this type of spoke layout. So these are the ones that we sell on MBoards, so we already have pulleys that go with these, as well as all the other wheels that we've shown here. But a couple of things you want to look at: the bearing size. So this bearing is an 8mm bearing, which aligns exactly with what you need to put on skateboard trucks. A lot of all-terrain wheels might come with 10mm or 12mm bearings, so you want to make sure that the bearings are 8 if that's what your trucks are, or whatever trucks you're using. Make sure that they match the diameter of your bearings. Also, one thing to consider with the all-terrain wheels is you want to make sure, see how wide they are, you want to make sure that these are going to fit on the amount of axle you have to work with. So these will not fit on a standard set of caliber trucks or a standard set of MBoards trucks. You want to make sure you're using these with extended trucks. So again, make sure that these are going to be compatible with the trucks you already have, and if you already have a set of trucks you're planning on using, then you might not be able to use these, but you might have to switch to something like this. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that kind of takes the mystery out of some of the durometer ratings and the diameters and the spokes and pulleys and all that nonsense. Hopefully that kind of takes the mystery out so you can make a better and more informed decision before buying wheels. I hate to see people buy wheels that just end up not working for their build just because we didn't take an extra few minutes to make sure that everything was compatible. So again, we have all the links in the description for all the wheels and everything you've seen here today in the description. Please use those links if you can. It really helps us be able to make more videos just like this for free. And then also, please hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more videos coming weekly, more builds, more hopefully some tests with the different hardness ratings to see if that actually affects range. So a lot of stuff like that. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.